Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Jennifer Bridge. She's the Meade County Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences. But today you're going to talk to us about ways that we might be able to preserve strawberries.
Absolutely. Well, buying local is the best. We always say local fresh is best. Right now you can still get some strawberries that are imported from Florida or more of a southern state, but they're picked green. They're still hard. They're not the same quality. So to be able to capture the quality of locally grown is just best. So the thing with strawberries is they're really versatile. You can make jam. Canning strawberries is not as good because it does leach out the flavor with the water. But you can also freeze strawberries and you can dry strawberries to add later on. So drying is an option with those strawberries, and make fruit leather as well to snack on.
But Jennifer, I know you also have some tips because a lot of people, if they have an abundance of strawberries and they're like, oh, I don't need this many strawberry pies, how's probably the best way to think about preserving those berries?
Yeah, freezer's always a good option. The only thing with freezing, if the power goes out and you have this whole freezer full of strawberries, what are you going to do with it? Jam is good. You can make a reduced sugar jam if you're trying to really cut back with strawberries. It works. You could add other things in with the strawberry when you're canning it for preserves. You just need that extra. Strawberries by themselves are not really good to can, but putting other things with it, add in value, makes it more self-stable. Probably one of the most popular ways, though, is freezing. I buy strawberries. I'll get them on sale, or I'll have an abundance, and I'll go ahead and you make sure that you rinse those with the cap still on, because they are primarily water. So you don't want the water to get inside the berry, and it destroys the quality and the taste. So rinse them really good with the caps on, pop that cap off, and then you can slice those, have sliced berries. And then we say, just like the regular, we're going to freeze those on a cookie sheet, let them flash freeze for an hour or two, and then put them in their own individual container. If you have berries that are a little bit ripe, I go ahead and just slice those, put them in pre-portioned sizes, and put them in a freezer bag and go ahead and freeze it together. They're all clumped together, but that's okay because they're great for like smoothies or for yogurt.
Yeah, and I think thinking about how you're going to utilize the strawberries, the end game is important. And then you can package them where it's so much easier just to pull out. If you have a cup of strawberries for a smoothie, it's already in that package. You can pull it out. It just makes it a little bit more convenient.
It does. And if you're just going to put it over top of, a cake or something to make a strawberry shortcake or something, those are fine for that later on as well. Not, it's not fresh berry, but it's still great quality.
And Jennifer, a lot of people say, well, I like to add sugar to my berries. When you're freezing berries, is the time to add the sugar then or after when they're thawed out?
You can add it when you're freezing those. We tell people don't overpower the strawberry with that sugar, because they're actually naturally sweet with the fructose to start with. So just cut back on the sugar, and you can also add it afterwards. It's whatever's convenient for you. I think sometimes the syrup in the berries gets a little bit what I call slimy. It's really sticky. So I prefer to wait till afterwards, but you can do either.
And then what about dehydrating? You talked about drying. Is that a long process, or is that something that can be done rather quickly?
Yeah, it is. You want to slice those to the point they're not real thick. You want to get the water out of those. So it's going to depend on the berry. It's going to depend on the water content of that berry. It's also going to depend on the slice. There's Extension has some great guides on drying fruits, vegetables. So make sure you stop by your local Extension office. We also have publications on freezing and on preserving.
We also have some recipe inspiration, Jennifer, at the Extension office if people want some healthy options on how to use strawberries.
Absolutely. We have these wonderful recipe cards called Plated Up Kentucky Proud, and there's some fantastic strawberry recipes in there, and combine some other good fruit with the strawberries. So, I encourage people to go do a U-pick. Take the family. It's a great way to build family members and to pick those strawberries, and understanding, especially for children, to understand where those berries come from and the process it takes to get that, lets them have that early appreciation of strawberries in the field.
And we appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show. We'll see you next time.